Welcome everyone to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. I'm your host, Andrea Cano with Summit K-12. And on today's episode, we have Dr. Mónica Lara from Silence Education. Gracias por estar aquí.
Buenos días,
Buenos
estás
días,
muy
¿qué
lejos.
Yo sé. No. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, estoy encantada. I'm so thrilled to be here at La Cosecha.
It's beautiful being here, right?
The energy is phenomenal.
Right,
yes.
it really is. So can you tell us, for the people that don't know you, that are watching this episode, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, your journey to get you to the CEO of Silence, and what do you love about what you do?
Yes, well, I'm the CEO at Silence Education. My name is Mónica Lara. And I've been in education for, I always say since my hair was brown, for over 30 years. I've been at Silence Education for 14 years, and this is my second year as a CEO of the company. And as you can see, as you can hear my accent, I am an emergent bilingual myself. I came to this country 40 years ago, a little bit over 40 years ago, as an immigrant, undocumented, not knowing English. So it is my passion to be representing a group that empowers teachers to serve emerging bilingual students. People ask me, when are you going to retire? And my response is, why? Why do I have to retire when I am working and leading a fabulous group of consultants? And Silence Education is very well known by its core values. Our core values are three: user-friendliness, mission, and joy. So anytime that we go to school districts and support teachers, it is our mission, it is our passion to support the underprivileged, the students that really need the support. And our resources are very well known because they're very user-friendly. Teachers really use them on the day-to-day teaching that they do, and it's not just like a textbook that is hard to read. We have a phenomenal production team led by Anna Mattis, and we really do a great job supporting teachers. Our consultants are passionate. We have different areas of expertise. And of course, my area of expertise is dual language education. So coming to this conference is absolutely phenomenal. We feel like familia. When we come, we really have a great opportunity to reconnect with people that we have known for years. When you have been in the field for so many years, you just see how much we have grown, how much we value each other, and how much you benefit from the conversations. And this is a great space that has been created for all of us to get together. And
you talked a little bit about you being an immigrant and coming and not having English. And I know what Silence does and the strategies. What would it have been for you? Would it change or would have helped your journey having a teacher trained with the Silence strategies back when you were a student?
Well, the very first thing that I tell teachers is that the number one thing that a recent immigrant or an emergent bilingual needs is for a teacher to have faith in you.
Yes.
To know that even though you don't know the language, you are a very capable, thinking human being. That even though you cannot express yourself, that you cannot communicate in English, you have a very strong linguistic repertoire that you bring with yourself. And sometimes I tell teachers, let's just not say that these kids don't have any background and they don't have any language. We have a lot of background. We have a rich cultural experience that it may not be a good match for the American school system. So the number one thing that I needed and helped me, I guess, to survive in a very different environment was that teachers believed in me. I needed someone to say, you can do it even though you don't know English, because not knowing English doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes to be successful. So usually during my presentations, I share with them the characteristics of who I was as I came in, undocumented, of poverty, not knowing English, in a very difficult situation. And now I am the CEO of a company. So it just really takes someone to believe in you and really remember that sheltered instruction is not just for learning English. It is a way of teaching. And our tagline at Silence Education is developing language in every classroom. And like our leader John Silent says, it's not how many years you are in a program, it's how many language learning opportunities you have on a daily basis. So if we have inclusive practices in the classroom, that is really going to help you. And our foundational framework is 7 steps to a language rich interactive classroom, which is how do you make content comprehensible while you develop language? It's just giving kids the opportunity to practice language, to engage with each other, to feel that they're valued and they have a space in the room, even though there are different levels of language proficiency.
And you hit on something that I think sometimes some of the other content areas may not really realize that they are language teachers too. You think about the vocabulary they learn in science and math. It's not our common language, even in English, that we speak like that.
Absolutely.
So using silent strategies in those classrooms too go a long way. And so I think you hit a little bit on that as well.
Absolutely. I think one of our successes is, we did a research in content areas. And actually, we've been working with math, science, social studies teachers. And they realize that the language that they teach is not necessarily the language that is taught at home. Like students don't speak, like we say, academies, not even English speaking kids. So the strategies that we teach teachers to implement in the classroom is not just for the emergent bilingual kid.
It's for everyone.
It's, I don't remember my mom teaching me about the hypotenuse of a triangle, it's like, it's something that my math teacher had to teach me. So when they come to our sessions, I think that's an eye opener because they really realize that what we teach them is not just for the emergent bilingual kid, because every student is the learner of the language of the discipline they're in. Everybody is an English learner of the language of math or the language of science or the language of social studies. So they really realize that it is not difficult to implement, it's just remembering what kids need. Sometimes I tell teachers, you have two things that are against you. You know your content too well and you know English too well. So you forget what it is not to know the language. But kids really rise to the occasion. With the right tools and the right implementation of strategies, students are successful. And they, research shows that emergent bilingual kids in dual language programs outperform monolingual students. And so we really need to continue supporting dual language education at all levels. There's a district in San Antonio that does a very good job. And even though kids have not necessarily been in dual language in elementary, when they come from other countries and they have a strong foundation in Spanish, they can go right into dual language in upper grades. That is a novelty. That's not something that people really realize, that if they come, why not put them in a dual program, even though they're older? So I think we should remember that we should not limit ourselves, because when we limit kids, we're limiting ourselves. So we need to open the space for kids to participate. And we have English-speaking kids wanting to be in dual language programs. So people are realizing that
the benefits.
It is absolutely beneficial. Yes.
Well, and you spoke about, and you can hear the background noise. There's lots of people coming and going. La Cosecha is one of those conferences, very well attended. People are excited to be here. What does it mean for you to be here and be at La Cosecha?
Well, first of all, like I said, you reunite with a lot of people that you have had long-standing relationships with, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. But one of the things that I always like is to present in Spanish. One of my resources, Toma la Palabra, Enlazando la Oralidad y la Lectoescritura. I'm happy to say that the second edition is going to come out in the summer of 2025. But teachers benefit from instruction in Spanish. They have to instruct kids in Spanish, and all the resources that they receive are in English. And I'm adamant silence education has been more on the ELD, ESL side, but now we are, really becoming a dual language community. We want to grow our community at silence education in dual language. We want to continue with the resources in Spanish. They're very well received. Teachers really are hungry for opportunities. And I know, I wish I spoke other languages so I could create other resources. But, the largest community that we have is of Spanish speakers, and the largest dual language program that we have I'm in Texas, so the largest group that we have is Spanish English dual language programs, and teachers really benefit from. I mean, they're surprised.
Yes.
But being in this country for so long, people don't realize how much you lose your primary language.
Yeah.
I'm a Spanish speaker, but if I go back home, it's just almost like, language is changing and I just don't recognize some of the
Some of the
words.
words, yes.
So we really need to continue exploring, improving our craft as teachers. And the more robust your language is in Spanish when you instruct, the more it's going to connect to English. And we are seeing a lot of the progress of students when they're in dual language programs where teachers are well prepared.
Yes.
There's no time, they don't have any time to do anything on their own.
No.
They go to English only staff development, and when are they expected to do everything in the other
And
language?
it's always, as a bilingual educator, having to get the T in English and then be like, okay, I got to teach this in Spanish. So I need to make sure that this is the vocabulary I'm using. This, so it was planning on top of planning for me.
Absolutely.
And when we already know educators don't have enough time in the day, what do they ask for all the time? I need more time.
Yes.
So being able to get that time back is always helpful for educators.
Absolutely. And we have something that has been in the making for the last few years, which is the visual non-glossary.
Mhm.
It's a set of visuals that are structured, and they're also in English and Spanish, and they're based on content areas vocabulary that tied to standards, state and national standards, that teachers are able to implement in the classroom, use all of those visuals with structured conversations. So they're able to look at the visual. It really taps into students' background knowledge and enhances that background knowledge so students can have conversations in content areas with the visual non-glossary. So there's a lot of the visuals that are for free, so you don't have to necessarily subscribe.
Okay.
But teachers can go on the platform and really see a lot of the visuals that are for free and get an idea as to what that is, because we cannot just underestimate the power of a visual.
That's right. That's right.
Students
Very
really
powerful.
need that. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here, sharing your journey and sharing the great work that you guys are doing at Sidelit.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. La Cosecha is a fantastic job, and you are doing a great job. Thank you for the opportunity
thank you
to
so
have
much.
this conversation.
Thank
And
you.
everybody, thank you so much for watching. And our Silas heart is with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. It was a pleasure speaking with Dr. Lara today. Remember, keep learning, stay curious, y hasta la próxima. Disfruta el viaje.
Hasta la próxima.